A number of things to discuss this morning. Welcome to AM Talk. My guest seated, Inusaf Hussein, is a member of parliament for Tamale Central. This is the last time he will be member of parliament and ranking member on the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. Also joining us is Mr. Evans Nimako. He is the NPP Director of Elections and Research. You're still Director of Research?
Yes.
Yes. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Welcome to AM Talk.
Thank you.
So today we want to go heavy on election-related matters. There is a portion of the Electoral Commission's recommendations that has not been touched on, which is on e-voting. We will go there in a bit. But I think it will be appropriate to begin with the voters register, because the last time the NDC had gone to court because they had requested from the Electoral Commission and they had not received. So let me ask you, irrespective of the fact that you've gone to courts, have you still received the register?
Oh, thank you, Mama V. I still have 1 year to do in Parliament.
Okay, yes. So yeah. This is not exactly the last time.
This is not the last time. I have 1 year. And so, coming back home to the question you asked, the NDC has not yet received the register. The NDC is in court. The NDC appreciated and acknowledged the attempts by the Electoral Commission to follow through the processes, but the party is heavily and hugely disappointed with the procedural improprieties that characterize this exhibition. We think that the Electoral Commission has not made it possible for the total involvement of the NDC in monitoring the exercise to ensure that we have a credible register. And so,
is that to say that you can't be sure we have a credible register? Is that what you're already saying?
Yeah, we can be sure. We can be sure, because even at the the branch levels, we call them branch levels. So at the polling station levels, some of the names of persons who registered could not be found in the register. Those who
that was peculiar to NDC members.
No. I'm talking about some people who registered their names could not be found in the register that was provided. So I'm speaking for the generality of the registered voters, okay? Because during the time that the limited exercise was done, the party had instructed the agents to compile the names of all persons who presented themselves for registration in order for us to know how many people had registered at a particular polling station and how many people are expected to be added onto the register. Okay. So this is just to ensure that the numbers that we know registered will eventually make it to the register, and that no additional numbers from anywhere will be brought onto the register, and those who have registered will actually be on the register. It's just a monitoring exercise to ensure that we have a register of integrity. And so when the register was displayed for purposes of people going to check their names, some people who had registered during the limited registration exercise could not find their names. I mean, I can give you the example of Elembele, where about 6,000 names could not be found in the register.
Really?
I can give you 6,000 names.
That's a lot.
A lot.
What was the explanation? There must have been some technical mistake right there.
Well, I don't know. The MP came down to Accra, had an audience with some members of parliament, had audience with the legal committee of the party, wanted to see what action could be taken. His action was swallowed by the actions that the party itself was taking. Okay, so
which is to get the register from the EC.
Yes, because you say and what happened in Elembele clearly vindicates the NDC's position.
Okay, but this 6,000 people had never registered and they were registering
for the constituency. In the constituency for the first time. In the constituency.
Isn't that number a bit huge for a constituency? 6,000 new
registered voters in the constituency.
Is that maybe let me
not a polling station,
but the entire constituency.
Yes.
Okay, so that wouldn't be too huge.
That you know.
Per your experience.
Yes. Definitely, it won't be too huge. Definitely. 6,000, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is outstanding.
If you have a population of, a voter population of about 60,000 people on the register, that's about 10%. And that's consistent with the growth rates in this country. Okay, so now what I'm saying is that the party is of the view that in order to ensure that we have a register that we can trust, we have a process that we can believe in, that we are part of the processes to ensure that the integrity of the register is not compromised. And to do so, we need the register. Okay, a copy of the register from the Electoral Commission.
Okay, so let me ask you. The exercise has ended. If you had the register today, what would
that
you
is why we are going to court
it?
to say that, look, the procedural improprieties that characterize the recent exercise were of such a nature that they violated the rules of engagement,
okay,
and seriously compromised the exhibition exercise, and that the court declares the exhibition exercise null and void and compelled
to do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask Ms. Anima. Usually, am I wrong in saying that if you were in opposition, you'd be sounding very much like Alhaji?
Thank you, Mama.
But you're very satisfied, apparently.
Well, thank you. Let me greet our viewers across the world. And Alhaji, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're doing well.
Very fine.
Well, it's not because you have opted not to contest again.
Yes.
We're still going to beat you
in the
2020.
That is
where?
one of your orphan constituencies, by the way.
Where is that?
Tamale Central.
Where is always good to dream?
Well, Mama, the NDC, yes, they've gone to court. The New Patriotic Party, we've not received the register from the EC yet.
Why is that?
We submitted, they wrote to us.
The EC wrote to you?
Wrote to us, and my General Secretary directed that we submit a hard drive, which we did. When we submitted our hard drive, we were told, when we saw it at the Office of the Director of Electoral Services, the NDC's drive was there as well.
Yes.
And they said that when they are done with it, they will call us for us to pick it up.
How long
as we talk
has it,
now, we've not been given the hard drive that will contain the register.
So when did you take the hard drive?
About 2 weeks ago.
Is it normal that 2 weeks you submit and you haven't received and the exercise has ended?
What I can say is that we submitted our hard drive to the EC and we have not received the hard drive back. The expectation is that we'll be given the provisional register so that we'll be able to monitor the process.
You sound okay with this, even though the exhibition exercise has ended. And I bet if you were in opposition, you wouldn't be sounding this way.
No, the MPP has always been concerned about the modus operandi of the EC. And we monitor the activities of the EC with timelines. Alhaji is here, is the constitutional person. If you look into the regulations, CR 91, 22, 1 and 2, and you look at it critically, you tread cautiously. They've gone to court. They are headed by their General Secretary, who said that any idiot can go to court. I'm not surprised. Let's see what will come out of that. For us, as the New Patriotic Party, the register was exhibited over time. Before the exhibition, we had the 2016 register. The 2 other limited registration exercises the EC had conducted, we had compiled each one person who had gone to register. So we are monitoring the activities of the EC.
So you've got your own register, you've done your own compilation.
Their agents were there in all the time that the EC was doing the registration exercise.
This recent one?
Not only this
limited registration.
Limited registration exercise. But I'm surprised that he's able to mention Elembele, that 6,000 of the voters, the registered voters, he will mention his constituency. The EC exhibited the register in Alhaji's constituency. Yet he will mention. I'm surprised anyway that 6,000 people, my people on the ground, in all the exhibition centers, Alhaji will not be able to tell us the number of centers the EC has created. But I'm aware that going into the 2016 elections, we had 28,992 polling stations. They self-decreted more. So how many they've added, Alhaji wouldn't know. But we got our people to finish us
but you
with the additions that the EC had added. So we know. We know what.
So share with us. So what's the information?
We are aware now that the EC is now operating around 30,700 polling stations. Okay.
But that's not because the EC told you. It's because from your own monitoring.
Yeah, from our own monitoring.
But is that right? I mean, there's supposed to be transparency in the operations, right? They're supposed to be working with you.
We've had discussion at the IPAC level. The EC said that they will create more polling stations to ease the number of people who appear at voting centers.
So you're contesting the 6,000 figure?
It's up to them. That is, if it's one of the reasons why they've gone to court, let them provide.
So is that to say that for you, the NPP, you don't have issues with people not finding their names in the recently exhibited register?
No, Mama. When you, for instance, I vote in my hometown, Bonsu. If I go to the polling station and my name is not in the register, the simple thing I'll have to do is to fill the inclusion forms and my name will be added. Okay, before we got to this exhibition state, the EC did the limited restriction exercise offline and online. My report from Bono region was that in some of the offline centers, some people's name did not appear in the register. They were made to fill the inclusion forms.
And that's enough? The fact that you didn't have the official register from the EC, what they had exhibited, you didn't have a copy of it, it didn't matter to you?
No, so we've been following it. Yesterday, for instance, as part of our discussion with them towards our weekend elections, we raised it.
So
we've still not gotten the
so let's
register.
use history. Let's use history, because this is not the first time we're doing this exercise. How often, you know, like how soon would you get a copy from the Electoral Commission? I understand that they are not printing because of the volumes. They can't possibly print the names out for you, so that's why they put it on the drive that you give them. Yeah. How soon do they give it to you?
Well, at all times that the EC will go into the exhibition or general elections, they give to us copy of the register in a form they determine, as it is in the
before the exhibition exercise or after the exhibition exercise?
There was an IPAC meeting that was discussed, and the decision was that EC will furnish the political parties with the register befure the exhibition exercise.
But they didn't.
But they haven't.
And you're okay with it? You're okay with still waiting?
Mama, we've raised these issues about it, and I'm saying that if you look into the CI, maybe the EC is covering itself with the CI regulation 22(1) and 2.
Okay,
the
NDC are you familiar with the regulation that he's quoting?
Well, you see, I'm somehow amazed at the acceptance of the egregious violations of the regulations and CI of the Electoral Commission by my good friend Evans Nemako. Are you related to Gary? Is that your brother?
He's a good brother.
Okay. Now, the second thing is that he said that the parties met and the Electoral Commission promised to make the register available before the exhibition. And that was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do, because you need the register to be able to assist in the exhibition exercise. Now he finds nothing wrong with the Electoral Commission not being able to do that.
No, but please don't put words into my mouth.
No, but action speaks louder than words.
He says they're following.
We are monitoring
up.
it.
They haven't gone to court, but they're following up.
You want to go to court, which you have done.
I think you asked them several times. Okay, so
no, but
haven't
you realized that when you parties are in power, you kind of speak for the EC, or at least
this EC
you are okay with what the EC does?
This EC is a different EC. That's why we need to watch them with eagle eyes. The EC boss was appointed by Nana Adonanko Akufo-Addo.
By the president,
the vice,
which is the norm.
The deputy was appointed by Nana Adonanko Akufo-Addo. The third person was appointed by Nana Adonanko Akufo-Addo. By the end of 2020, Nana Akufo-Addo would have appointed all the commissioners.
In his capacity?
That sends us back to 1992.
What's wrong with that?
And so the issues that MPP raised in 92.
You also raised it?
About the MPP not being fair because of the general appointment mode. And so he's not worried. There's no problem. Dr. Bosman was an MPP operative on the University of Ghana, campus of the University of Ghana.
He was the head of the political science department
and also,
of the University of Ghana.
An MPP
there was
operative.
No MPP by his title.
There was. He was part of the TAIN on campus.
TAIN?
TAIN, yeah. I mean, TESCOM on campus.
Was he?
10 is the yes.
10 is the NDC.
10 is the NDC.
Yeah, but what's wrong? What's wrong with that? But wasn't that when
so
he was a student?
You know how you create a deep state. You know how you create a deep state when you pay persons who are sympathetic to your cause in positions of authority. Then you can reasonably expect that they dance to your tunes. That's how you create a deep state. That's why he's not worried. And we are worried.
Was he a member of TESCON?
He was.
Mama, and Elijah, please. I've had access to our party membership database. At no point did I find the name Bossman Asare in our database. And you can get people for this one.
So he's not a card-bearing member of the NPP?
He has never been a card-bearing member of the New Patriotic Party. I was on campus with him. I was on campus with him.
I can provide you with pictures of Jane Mensah wearing MPP T-shirts.
Please.
In 1992, if I do one.
Well, it will be for the EC. It will be for the EC.
I'm not saying
speak for itself. But when it comes to the issue of the fact that a government-appointed commissioner meant that they were going to win an election.
That's why you
have the records to show. You appointed Madame Charlotte Osei. You lost the elections.
Well, you are just being comfortable.
And now I'm trying to explain. Mama, the NDC
I'm trying to explain why he's comfortable.
But he's trying to make the point that it really doesn't matter who appoints who because...
Well, we appointed Charlotte Osei.
Yes.
Mama,
Charlotte Osei was one person at the Electoral Commission. We appointed Charlotte Osei. But they have appointed all the commissioners.
So if I had appointed all of them, then you would have won. Is that the point you're making?
In the position of comfort.
We had even said that going into the 2016 elections, if the president then, the wife was the EC, we're still going to win the elections. Because we did our homework. It's not an issue of depending on what the EC will do for you. In your own election review conducted by Professor Kwesi Botwe, he told you that you didn't put in place mechanism enough for you to win the elections. More so, you didn't have message. More so, you didn't have any arrangement by your director of elections to collate your results. So if you've gone into elections with this kind of attitude, how do you expect to win? You didn't have message going to. But I think strongly that the NDC is finding reasons
that they had done their homework and knowing that they were going to win. Ask them what homework did they do. If you go into an election that the governing party, and in all elections, you know as a director of elections, that when there is a voter apathy, it affects the ruling government. And
voter apathy?
Yes. And we believe that in 2020 there will be a voter apathy and to affect the ruling government.
You believe that?
I believe that.
So you're in a comfortable lead?
I believe that. I believe seriously that voter apathy will affect
just because we're discussing this matter, I wanted to bring back this issue about the EU, the European Commission, the European Union, advising Ghana to consider broader consultation in electing a chair of the Electoral Commission. And this was published by the Daily Graphic newspaper. And
when was that?
This was the holiday. Was the Monday?
Yeah.
No. So this would be Saturday. This is Saturday's edition of the Daily Graphic News. It was actually the front page, the banner headline. Yeah. Just a little bit of it. The European Union has called on Ghana to reconsider the procedure for selecting the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and other top officials of the Commission to deepen the country's democratic credentials. The leader of the EU election follow-up mission to Ghana, Mr. Thomas Meziris, who made the call, said a more consultative procedure for selecting the leaders of the EC would make the officials more acceptable to all stakeholders and boost public confidence in the Electoral Commission. So you can check out for details of this the Daily Graphic newspaper, the Saturday edition.
Said that.
But I wanted us to...
MPP has said that when John Dramani Mahama appointed Charlotte Osei, and when they were given the opportunity to appoint the Electoral Commission, they did exactly what John Dramani Mahama was accused to have done.
Oh, I thought they had said that they did broader consultation.
Who did they consult?
Indeed, I got information that the president did personally put a call through to persons on the appointment. I can't mention, but I wanted us to move on from this matter and talk about the Emil Short Commission's report, the recommendations. It's been clouded by a lot of the conversations, the recommendations, the white paper in particular. But there is a particular recommendation in the reports that I wanted us to talk about. So here we go. The Commission urges the Electoral Commission should explore the possibility of resorting to electronic voting or some other method which does not depend on physical ballot boxes. The Commission urges that the police should mount public education on crime scene management. Okay, so let's deal with the 10.7 on e-voting. But even before that, can I ask if the political parties, and this is not the white paper, have we learned the lessons of Ayawaso West really? I'll start with you.
Yes, yes. I mean, for all elections that we've participated, we have done a review of them. So the Commission's report has come to also give us some insight on things to look out for going to elections. So lessons have been learned. I mean, as a political party, when we were done with the 2016 elections, we constituted a committee chaired by a lawyer, Pokwe to review the 2016
Did you do same with the Ayawaso West?
With this same. This one was chaired by our second vice chairperson, Mr. F.F. Anto.
So what was your finding?
The report has been submitted to
does
the
it,
National Executive Committee of the party.
Does it align with what the Emil Short Commission reviewed?
I mean, this is a document that is being considered at the party's highest level, and it's not open yet for discussion. But what we've done was that going into the Ayawaso elections, the party had made preparation to put people as agents in all the voting centers. We had 137. It was only in those enclaves, the Baolishi, that this whole issue occurred.
So could you have done as a party, and this is strictly party talk and the elections, could you have done anything different?
We were surprised about the development. I mean, but see, Mama, we had gone into Akwetia elections, a certain by-elections, polling stations within the township. The same thing happened. The same thing happened. So it is for stakeholders in this political game to really
which includes the political
includes our party. We've never triggered any such confrontation in any elections we've participated. We were intelligently by elections. We all saw what happened. So please, this has come. It should be a big lesson to us as a country. If we really want our democracy to develop, this shouldn't be the way to go.
So this recommendation by the by the Commission, the bit about the e-voting,
yes,
or other means that will not require physical ballot boxes.
I think that we will have some time to go. There has been suggestion on the use of e-voting. The discussion has been ongoing. I think the difficulty we've had as a country is that in some areas we don't have the digital infrastructure to carry it through, because you're looking at not only centers in the capitals where you have internet access. If you look across the world, there are countries practicing e-voting. You're talking of US, Switzerland, Estonia, Norway, Germany. I mean, these are countries developed with enough infrastructure. Not the case of Ghana. You may think that a polling station in Kokomlemle will have access to internet. You can easily communicate across. But if you ever go to Zabzugu, even some parts in his constituency,
even some parts of Accra, don't even go outside Accra.
So that is where you have challenges. People have suggested that it's a way to bring down the cost of voting. In Ghana, we've been told that it costs $12.3 per person to cast a vote. The case of Uganda is less, $4. So what is the best practices? What is the best way to go? What are the ingredients that go into the conduct of our elections? And for us to have free, fair, and transparent elections, these are some of the things we have to look out for. The MPP, we are open for the discussion, but we will not hasten to say going into 2020 elections, the EC should adopt e-voting. I think we are not there yet. If the EC had put in place enough mechanism to pilot it, even in the upcoming district level elections, then we see the pros and cons. In our case, the fact that it's being done well in Switzerland, in Norway, and in US does not mean that it will suit our situation because of our geographical challenges. So for now, we are looking at it. we are open. If the EC brings it up for discussion, why not? And it is always good that we adopt mechanisms, arrangement that will enhance our democratic dispensation, and more so the election management body to be very open and transparent to all the stakeholders. So we are very much open.
When would we be ready for e-voting?
Not when MPP is in power.
Why not?
Well, no, we don't trust them.
Well, Mama, let me interject. I think that Alhaji himself, he doesn't trust himself nor his party, because I don't know what pushed him out of this whole contest.
Right. What
the constituency
you've
won not once. Constituency you claim you have control.
It's not a constituency. It's our Electoral Commission. Please.
Oh, Alhaji, trust yourself.
Evans, it's constituency. It's elections. What we are saying is that we have been tinkering with this idea for some time. Indeed, when Haruna was even at the Minister of Communications, Gabi Dakwa Institute, immediately after the 2012 elections, organized a forum where they spoke about e-voting. So it has been around for some time. So I take it that what the Electoral Commission is saying is that we must explore the possibility of doing that, and not in 2020. 2020.
No, they didn't put.
No, they don't put timelines. But I'm just saying that not in 2020. I mean, the Electoral Commission should not get carried away by trying to implement it in 2020. Even in America, I mean, you have the manual voters and the e-voting, and so there can always be a combination where there is internet connectivity for the purposes of the platform for e-voting. You can combine it with manual voting. But don't compare Uganda's electoral system with Ghana. You see, because our system is a multi-party, vigorous, vibrant democracy. And so the cost definitely would be higher than that of Uganda. Yes, we must be working to bring down the cost of elections in this country. But we must also be aware that democracy comes at a cost, and that we must, as a people, be prepared to bear the cost of democracy. But e-voting, yes, it's an idea. Good, we'll think about it.
No, but not implemented. Not when
NPP is in power. No.
So Alhaji is telling us, for them as the NDC, they will implement it when they're in government. Man, you are not the EC, or by then you'll be the EC. Please.
Yeah, but the budgets is funded by the state.
Yes.
So, and that would determine if you can carry out a project like that. If,
well, you see,
if the EC can carry out something like that.
We even have to change the location of EC when we are going to do the.
The physical location of the Electoral Commission. What's wrong with that?
We acquire all properties around that area.
The NDC changed the location of the EC.
I'm curious why.
We acquire all the properties around that area.
You know that MPP has what the state.
You know the MPP has a property that is adjoining
the new patriotic party.
They can run cables underground into the EC.
Oh my God.
Okay, I don't even know the follow-up question too. Wait, how long ago since this property was acquired?
Well, we are thinking of e-voting. We don't want any problem.
No, maybe. What Alhaji is telling us, the property had been there not in the name of the new patriotic party. They won the 1992 elections, won 96. Then we won 2000 and 2004. When they were winning 2008, the property was there. I'm surprised.
I'm talking about e-voting. I'm talking about e-voting now.
Oh, Alhaji.
No, you just said that.
E-voting cannot happen now.
The location
and when we are going to do e-voting,
the physical location of the Electoral Commission headquarters must move.
Or we acquire all the properties.
Because
or we acquire all the properties.
There is a property close by that the MPP owns, or somebody within the MPP. What are you saying? Is it somebody
who owned it initially and gifted it to the MPP? Yes, so they just have it abutting the MPP.
And your suspicion is that they are running underground cables?
Even if they are there and they don't run cables, they can interfere with the infrared.
How?
No. We don't want such things to compromise the integrity of our elections. 2020 is going to be a very.
So what do you intend doing about that? Because as it is now, from what you're saying, the allegations that you're making, somebody within the MPP lives very close to the Electoral Commission headquarters.
You know how far Russia is from America? You know how far.
So you're trying to do the same?
And Americans are accusing the Russians of having interfered in their elections.
Well, Mama V, I think that Alaji sphere should be allayed.
But is there an NPP man living?
I'm surprised. I have no idea.
Oh, you have no. Oh, who was that?
NPP?
You are director of research
and elections. Yes.
Oh,
so you're very familiar with the headquarters of the
original owner of the property.
Our headquarters is located in Asalam Dam.
Yes. You could actually walk to the Electoral Commission head office.
So these are properties of the New Patriotic Party.
And you have one just around the Electoral Commission.
Always check. Elections are conducted in polling stations. Results are brought to constituency collation centers and announced. I'm surprised about
Evans. I'm not director of research.
I think that the NDC is resolved.
Let me quickly
that 2020 is gone. So
let me quickly because you've got elections this weekend.
Okay.
Orphan constituencies. These are not your strongholds necessarily. What's the plan? How many of them?
Yes, thank you. This weekend, Saturday, we're doing primaries in 104 constituencies where we don't have sitting
including Tamale Central.
Including Tamale Central. Including Tamale Central.
Okay.
And so the arrangement is that we've had discussion with the EC. The EC will conduct the elections. The party will congregate at all constituency, define centers for polling station executives, 5 of them each, from all the polling stations within the constituency. All electoral area coordinators will be there as delegates, constituency executives, council of elders, 5 members of them will be nominated. We have patrons in all these constituencies, 5 of them will be part of the delegate, as well as our foundation members who are resident in those constituencies. So they will congregate as delegates for the conference to select, according to our constituency, candidates that the party will present for the 2020 parliamentary primaries. So that is what we've done so far. And arrangement has been made. We've been in touch with the police command, and they're going to make sure that their men are there to assist in providing security during, before, and after the conference. And we hope that at the end of Saturday, the party would have gotten 104 candidates to contest in these constituencies. There are 2 of them we are not contesting now. We have Chiripone constituency in Northeast region. When the party opened the nomination, there were some challenges, local challenges within the jurisdiction. So the party leadership directed that we put on hold the case of Chiripone. The other one is Hohoi constituency. In Volta region, there are 18 of them. All the 18 constituencies in Volta region, we don't have certain members.
So why are you worrying yourself?
I mean, we must...
Just give up already.
We're not giving up, but we must accept that political parties have their strongholds. That notwithstanding, New Patriotic Party is a national party. We've always had our party structures across, except that when it comes to elections, we've not been fortunate. But we're working so hard that the 18 constituencies we're going to go into, we'll make some seats out of the 18. Hohoi constituency is on hold. It will not be part of Saturday's arrangement. Aside that, the party has nominated national members who are in charge of the National Parliamentary Vetting Committee to monitor the elections as will be conducted across the region. So far, it's been very successful. We know that by Saturday, the party will once again deepen its internal arrangement of selecting. We are not imposing. We saw what happened in other parties when they were doing same. They are not done yet, but when we are done with this 104, we'll go ahead to do where we have certain members of parliament, possibly next year, and the NPP will be ready for the 2020 both parliamentary and presidential elections.
Okay, just a minute on the...
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if I like you want to come along as the monitor.
You don't run a similar structure like
it's
what
almost,
they've done.
It's almost similar. It's almost similar. But we did our primaries and all.
General.
Should I give accreditation for you to
no,
go around?
I can always wish them well.
What would you want them to monitor?
No, I'm not going to monitor. I'm not going to monitor their primaries. You see, they postponed Hohoi because they want Amewu to emerge the candidate, and Amewu has a FINRA, so they can't have the elections. That's why they postponed.
Okay.
How did you have this information? How do you know this?
No,
and then
Mama, let me tell you.
So
I'm always the sole candidate for Hohoe constituency. When the party opened the nomination, for the whole period, nobody procured forms. So he was the only person who procured forms, and he is going as the sole candidate.
So he's going unopposed.
Unopposed.
But so, and he has a funeral.
Claimed by the delegates.
He has a funeral.
Not only that, he has a funeral.
Yes.
When I said we had issues in Chiripone,
Yeah, I'm coming to Chiripone.
The party leadership took a decision the same way we took a decision in the case of Hohoe. Out of the 106, we are doing 104. So you don't have any issue than to say that we are imposing.
So you're okay. So you're holding on to that because Mr. Mewu has some personal things to deal with.
Yes.
No.
Yes. So apart from that,
not only that.
Okay, but what's the reason?
Not only that. The party has its own internal arrangement to manage its activities in all constituencies.
All right.
That's why for 169, we are not doing those ones yet.
Just before we go, I understand the law entrance exams results are out.
Yeah, they are
You're
out.
familiar with that?
Yes.
But the failures?
128 success passes, and then out of 1,820. Representing about 7% of the total number of people who sat for the exam to gain admission into the law school. Clearly, it demonstrates the fact that the arrangement that we have presently cannot deal with the desire of people to enter law school and train as lawyers. I mean, we have to look at other alternatives. I mean, and in Ghana, I always say that in Ghana, there are two systems that we can learn from.
But didn't you have the opportunity when you had to deal with the law recently in Parliament?
No, we didn't have.
Or you couldn't have.
The Attorney General came and told us that, well, they needed to pass this regulation to be able to conduct exam. And so they will bring a comprehensive legislation to deal with this issue. They have not.
When?
They've not. But what I'm saying is that I've always thought that Ghana, we have systems that have addressed issues like this. Legon, we had only one medical school in Legon. They used to train at the Kolebu, and they still do there. Then we established the medical school at KNUST. They don't come to Kolebu. Okay, you go to your school, do your housemanship in Kumasi, and you get your certificate, medical certificate. Then we established the UDS. We don't say the UDS. When they had no hospital, I mean, of the same status like the Konfo Teaching Hospital, they used to come to Accra. And then the institutional capacity of the Tamil Teaching Hospital was built. Now they do their housemanship in Tamale, and they get, they get certified as medical doctors. Why is it that with law, everybody has to come to Makola?
So they will raise the issue that, for instance, on the Gempa campus, they have some lecture halls on the Gempa campus, same with KNUST. So you don't physically have to go to Makola, even though there's
a Ghana law school, but has got campuses. What I'm saying is that you don't need a Ghana law school. Okay? You need the general legal council as a regulatory body. If you want to go the way that accountants go, everybody teaches the course. You maintain standards through regulation.
So you run your own professional
course? We run our own professional course and write the exam. Even in the United States, in the United Kingdom, in South Africa, that's how they do it.
So I have to ask you, having engaged the legal counsel on the committee level in Parliament, do you feel strongly that this leadership...
They are still steeped in colonial mentality. It's just like when Nkrumah was going to establish the Ghana Law School. Those who are trained in Britain thought that Nkrumah was wasting his time, and that lawyers will not emerge from the Ghana Law School of the same caliber and standards like those who train in Britain. But over time, Ghana Law School has proven its worth. The same thing if you use new strategies to address this backlog. Over time, the market will sort out everybody. The market. I mean, why don't we believe in the market?
There's a last issue that I wanted to bounce off you. So let's play this clip. We'll come back and take the say. You have your say on this. Here we go.
Which one?
It's coming.
the fight against illegal mining in Ghana is something that has never been systematically undertaken until I came into office. So it's a first step, and it's a beginning. I think the decision that was made to deport the Aisha woman, on hindsight, was a mistake, and that is why that process, that procedure has been stopped. The attitude and the thinking was that problems involved in prosecuting, then having to hibernate and look after, etc. It was just better to send the person off. But I think it was a mistake. And the response to that has been the amendment of the law that has now stiffened and enhanced the sanctions for people, both Ghanaians and foreigners who are engaged. We say that 20 people presently in custody, that may well be. I don't have the exact figure, but that may well be. But they are being in the process of being processed for court. And I have no doubt that very soon they will be put before court. Unfortunately, they're going to be put before court under these new laws that have been recently passed.
Okay, 30 seconds.
On the president's speech.
Ashawan's deportation was a mistake?
Well, you see, I was here, you remember? And I said that
yes,
the senior minister had gotten it all wrong. I even filed a motion in Parliament to compel the regional, senior minister to appear before Parliament to answer to the issue why he thought that deporting Aisha Wang for monitoring considerations was better than the enforcement of our laws. That was a huge embarrassment.
So, but now the president has...
well, my difficulty with the president is that it has taken him too long.
Just like Occupy Ghana said?
No, I said it before Occupy Ghana. I said it long before Occupy Ghana. When I just read his story, I said, Mr. President, why did it take you too long to know that this was a mistake? I posted it on the Facebook.
So does it correct anything?
Nothing. And that shows clearly that the commitment to fight Galamsey is not yet on.
Mr. Nikwaku,
well,
30 seconds.
At least we've started something to make sure that we have clean environment. The admission by our president, I mean, it should be commended. I mean, for us as the New Patriotic Party, when it is wrong, it is wrong.
Okay,
and
all
the
right.
same thing, the president is telling us that, yes, we made a mistake. We should be given the opportunity to correct it.
Thank you very much.
You know,
That's Director of Elections and Research for the NPP.
I was waiting to hear the president on the discussions on the environment at the United Nations.
The climate change.
The climate change. Because you cannot consign Etiwa to Chinese for bauxite and then go and make a speech at the United Nations.
It wouldn't be the same as as you were going to
The
do.
president will be speaking today, by the way. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Stay with us. We've got another conversation coming up, and this is on call tax. It concerns all of us. Stay with us.